is useful in making your decisions in StratSim. All right. Okay. Very quickly, if you remember my simple framework, in fact, let me mention this. In fact, figuring out that contribution margin is related to the subfloor is that I didn't figure that out before on my own. I figured it out only during class time interacting with you. Okay, something new, a new way of explaining contribution margin emerged from our previous class. I like that. Okay, so I like so I wanted to say that the participation in interaction of you guys with the class make it closer to the face-to-face interaction. It's very important. I didn't get a lot of reaction from my 209. Nobody's, all right, that's understandable, right? But you are all seasoned marketers, okay? So very quickly, ceiling, floor, all right, and then we got this. We got the 3 C's: customers, willingness to pay, and then and the floor is company cost, cost structure. And then we put the subfloor here. That related below that is this is the fixed cost. All right, this is the variable cost. And this is competition. All right, I mentioned contribution margin. I mentioned break-even analysis, which is something you're already familiar with. And very quickly, I wanted to mention this markup pricing, which is widely used. All right, markup pricing. And I hope everyone knows this, because you should have learned this from my 209, but if not, I'm giving you a reminder of this very quickly. Okay, let's say you got something at a cost of $20. Let's say this is masks, and 95. All right, previously it's $2. If you go to Home Depot before the crisis, probably $3, the best one $4. But now, in this time of crisis, if you're able to get your hands on an N95 mask at 20 bucks, good for you. All right, because you know what? Home Depot issued stop sale order for all of its N95 masks, probably redirect the supply to hospitals. All right. Okay. In my story here, let's say you're able to get one for $20 at cost. So I said this is cost. All right. And I'm telling you this. I said, okay, go mark up 20%. I said, I'm your manager. I said, go mark up 20%, put the price sticker on it, and sell it. I mark up 20%. So how do you calculate this?
Wouldn't you do it 20 times 1.2 to get 120%?
Okay. Very good. So we have a, look, multiplication, and then we have a 1 plus 20%, which is 1.2, right? 20 times 1.2 is
24.
all right, 24. And after you're selling this a little while at 24, and your manager, who's me, came over and says, oh no, this is not what I mean. You sell it too low. I'm going to take the difference from your pay, from your next paycheck. This is not what I meant. So what's the other way of calculating a markup? Anybody remember? I talked about those before in 209. And I want those who are not in my 209 also know this. Okay, in the interest of time, let me show this. Okay, what I meant is this. Look, instead of the ordinary normal multiplication and plus, right? I did the calculation when I was giving cost. I did the calculation by division and subtraction. You got all the 4 different operations represented here. Okay, instead of multiplication and addition, I did division and subtraction. What do I get here? What's the answer here?
Is it 25?
Yes. So you're supposed to sell it at 25 and you got 24. There's $1 difference. Let's say you sold 200 masks already and your manager threatens to take $200 from your pay. Okay. So what's the difference between these two? In terms of terminology, anybody remembers? Right? This is called mark up on cost. You're really marking up on cost, you know, with the cost as a base, and you mark it up, mark up on cost. This is called mark up on price. Why? Because if you were to do this, if you were to calculate, okay, let's say this is your final selling price times 20%, and that gives you $5. And that $5 is the markup from what you originally got the product at $20. All right? So, what do we learn from here? There are multiple implications here. Multiple implications. First one. Next time, if you're in a situation like this, the manager says, mark up 20% on it and go put the price sticker on it. You want to make sure management markup on cost. Do we do it like this? Of course, you need to confirm, right? You need to confirm, definitely. And or markup on price, all right? But you can see if we start from the same cost, this calculation will always give you a higher price. This calculation with division and subtraction will always give you a higher price. With the exact same number, that's how things work, right? It's always give you a higher number here. Okay, so let's say right after your manager said that, and he or she disappears, and then you couldn't verify which way do I mark up? Which way do I mark up? Do I mark up on cost or price? And when in doubt, what do you do? When in doubt, which one would you automatically select?
Would you do price because you'll already have more profit because it's bigger?
Yes. Yes. When in doubt, you err on the higher side. You err on the higher ground. Why would you do that? Of course, it gives you a higher profit. What would be another reason that you err on the higher ground? You always wanted to calculate it this way when give a cost. You always want to do this. Next time, I want you to resist the temptation to do it the simple way and do it the harder way, because if you think about it, the four operations, arithmetic operations, division and subtraction is always harder than multiplication and addition. All right. When you teach kids, when I'm teaching my, you know what I'm teaching my kids right now? 2 plus 2. I'm teaching my son 2 plus 2 multiple times now, trying to make him figure out what's 2 plus 2. All right. I did not start with subtraction. What's 2 minus 2? You know, he will be able to figure that out later. But you always want to err on the higher side. And there's another reason to this. Of course, you make higher profits. Another reason for this, if you made a mistake here, it's easier for prices to go down than go up. Right? In terms of price adjustments, right? The managers need to make price adjustment. So the manager came over and says, "Oh no, I want 24. You put 25 on it? Okay. How about we issue a $1 coupon or give a customer a $1 discount?" It's easy. Customer's happy, right? But if you want to try to raise $1, that's going to be hard. Uphill battle. All right. So this is kind of like common sense here, but it's you need to know about this. Markup. How do we mark up? Division, subtraction, pick the higher price, and then it's easier to come down later on. Okay, so that's markup price. All right, let's talk about one other important thing, I believe. Did we talk about price elasticity of demand at this point? You learned price elasticity of demand already, which is related to the ceiling price elasticity of demand, which is from what? From microeconomics, price, quantity, the normal demand curve that look like this. The higher the price, the smaller the quantity you sell. All right, so this is price elasticity of demand. And what are elastic and inelastic at this point in the marketplace? All kinds of supplies that are related to fighting this virus and pandemic. They're becoming, previously, before the crisis, like a mask. It could very possibly be elastic to a certain extent, right? Which means when you change the price, all right, you may be able to sell a little bit more, something like that. But now it's become inelastic. All right, the price, you raise the price, very high, there will still be a similar quantity demanded. So when you have a very vertical demand curve, this is inelastic. Another example of what's happening in the marketplace right now that's inelastic, what is it? The oil market is going to collapse very soon. The world will have nowhere to store all of those oil they got out from the ground, from underground. So nobody's driving, everybody's staying home, right? And oil, and gas prices is so low, but still, nobody's rushing out to hoard gasoline. Of course, there's technical reasons not to hoard gasoline. But if you need it, you need it. You don't need it, you don't need it. You don't need it. All right, price dropping a lot, nobody's rushing out to buy a lot of it. So that's another example of inelastic, right? An elastic one would be something very horizontal, right? Something very horizontal, you have a very short, small change in price will result in a big change in quantity demand, all right? Anything going on right now? And that is actually elastic. Any product at a huge sale, on sale, going on sale, and people would actually buy more. Stuff that's related to what people do at home, right? What people do at home, right? I don't know if I purchased a few more extra games, video games you're playing at home. Not sure. Is it on sale or are they holding the price? All right. Some of these things actually we benefit. Some of these products benefit from people staying at home. All right. So that's related to the ceiling. For competition, what do we talk about? What about competition? So as you can see, I'm taking turns to talk about the 3 C's as they relate to price very quickly. All right, and then we'll come back to maybe some practical aspects of pricing. Practical aspect may even get to the practical aspects of putting an MSRP sticker on an automobile, right? MSRP. Okay, practical aspects. Okay, competition. So we did this. We did a little bit of this. Actually, I'm coming back to, oh, by the way, let me finish this ceiling with one more theory, and then we'll go to competition. All right, ceiling with one more theory. This is very important from microeconomics, very, very important concept. And let me ask if anybody familiar with this phrase. Price discrimination. Did you learn this in microeconomics? Anybody? Anybody? Price discrimination. Anybody?
I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't remember what it is.
Okay, very good. Let's let me explain very quickly. The phrase is from more than 100 years ago, maybe even 150, by a French economist. And as you can tell, when a phrase originated that long time ago, this has nothing to do with discrimination in a sense that we call it, all right, discrimination. You can think of it as price differentiation. All right, so let me put the word, but in economics they kept the same, they kept using the same phrase. And in marketing, we like to use it in its original form. But what it means is differentiation. All right. This is, has nothing to do with like racial discrimination, things like that, right? But in certain cases, the practice of this may be perceived as discriminating. All right, so let me go to the theory of this, and then we'll see what are some of the practical aspects of price discrimination. Price discrimination is this. Let me give an example. Let's say somebody walk over to your store, and you're selling supplies and necessities in your grocery store, and you have a few loaf of bread left, and it's a scarcity, and somebody walk over into the store and want to buy one loaf of bread, right? And you got superpower. You're the seller, the store owner, you got superpower. You're able to tell that this person is very hungry, and this person got a $20 bill in his pocket, this customer. So what you do is you said, oh, you want this bread? There's no price on it, right? And you said 20 bucks. And then the customer who's hungry and got only the last $20 bill paid, right, for the bread. And then the next person walks in, and you know that this person is, got only 10 bucks in his pocket. And you said 10 bucks, and you got all the money out of this person. All right. So in other words, the theoretical meaning of this price discrimination is that you're practicing what? You're able to get max or customers' willingness to pay. For what? For exact same product. Exact same product. There's no difference in the product. But different customers coming in, you got this complete information, which is, in reality impossible, but somehow you got complete information of the customer, and you're able to, in each case, you're able to extract the maximum that a customer is willing to pay. All right. So let me put some kind of a timeline here. All right. This is not exactly the demand curve anymore. All right. I'm putting a time here. So let's say when something is first introduced, those innovators, those people who are the first to eat the crab, right? They're willing to pay a high price. And after a little while, all right, and there are other reasons, and we're not getting into the other reasons, for example, experiential curve, that the manufacturers get more experience, they're able to produce a higher quantity, and there's economy of scale, things like that, right? But then, all else being equal, you are able to extract maximum price. The second wave of customers are willing to pay. All right, you extract the first wave, you extract the second. So instead of putting a uniform price cut across and everybody paid the price, you basically extracted the economy called this consumer surplus. You extracted maximum consumer surplus. All right, all of these opportunities. Imagine if you would put one price for all, you would have lost these consumer surplus. You gave back those to the consumer, this part of the value. right? But when you're able to do this, all right, gradually, you get the max out. So that's the idea of price discrimination. But we all know that economists like abstract mathematical models, right? Abstract mathematical models. So this first degree price discrimination almost never happen in the real world because you need complete information of each and every customer, first degree, all right? First degree is theoretical. Let's talk about second degree. Second degree price discrimination is, second degree price discrimination is actually very straightforward. Price based on quantity. I'm sorry about that puppy. I think she wants to get out. Second degree price discrimination is when you change the price based on quantity. There was a remarkable story yesterday when the governor of Massachusetts, Governor Baker, was able to secure 1.7 million N95 masks from various factories in China. I don't know how he was able to do that. That's crazy, right? And then they were able to secure it at such big quantity, 1.7 million of it, with about $4 million. All right, can you believe that? $4 million, all right, at this quantity. Of course, eventually they were not able, they sent, the whole global supply chain was disrupted, and they were not able to get hold of the whole thing because they get the New England Patriots private jet to fly all the way to China. And then they're not allowed, the crew were not allowed to leave the plane, and the Chinese ground crew were able to load the plane with these masks. And they were able to load a maximum of 1.2 million masks. But that's the idea of a quantity discount. A quantity discount is related to second degree price discrimination. A third degree of price discrimination is all other kinds of selling the same product to different people at different price, and you're doing it legally, and you're doing it without any real social discrimination. All right, and let's put a few examples here that we're all very familiar with. Student discounts. When you show your student ID, you get to buy certain things at a discount. All right, student, senior citizen discount, happy hours at Brett's bar, and coupons. I know it's our break. I'll see you in a few minutes.